Well, the original Peter Pan I saw, I think, as a kid, and we've all seen movies and we've seen Hook, and I think that play is also quite dark actually, but we don't see it. You know, it's about children who are lost, who don't have parents, and Peter doesn't have a family, and but it's always shown in this very kind of light-hearted way.
It's a bringing together of things that would never otherwise be brought together in a production.
It's an adaptation. The setting has changed and they are changing the location completely and adding so many more elements to it, and how the department used Indian people in as opposed to native Indian, and like added the twist to it, which I thought was really cool.
And it's showing Peter Pan in relationship to the British Empire, which is really original. So it's about how the British went to India, they colonized India. So Mr. and Mrs. Darling, who are the parents, you know, Wendy's parents, are actually colonials in India.
Remember what I told you about that boy?
It's a real boy that this is happening to. It's not some fantasy boy who whisks people away. He's a homeless kid who all he wants is that mother, but he doesn't know who his mother is. He doesn't know his heritage, and he's stuck in this world that's devastating to him. And so this world of Neverland becomes this place where they get to escape to.
Michael, you're way up there.
So the opening scene of our production is set in a marketplace in India. Basically throughout the story you see the Lost Boys, the 6 Lost Boys, who create this story. So there's an event that happens in the very opening scene that kind of makes something click in their heads to recreate this story that they've just seen. So they over-exaggerate and they turn Mrs. Darling, who has, you know, a hook-shaped umbrella, into this evil villain of Captain Hook. And they turn Wendy, Michael, and John into their actual characters and recreate that in the nursery scene. So throughout the whole production, Lost Boys are helping tell the story. So they'll grab something from the marketplace and then give it to a character so that they can continue those scenes.
And they decide to throw away reality and create their own reality in this world where Peter flies and the Darlings have a dog for a nurse, and fairies are real, and they are the reason this story happens in our production.
Prince, find a girl who wore the glass slipper.
Oh, that's Cinderella. Well, Peter, you found her and they all lived happily ever after.
Lost Boys were these mixed race kids, which were the children of British men with Indian women, or Indian men with British women. And one thing I personally found really hard was to get information on Lost Boys, because they were such an abomination in the country during that time. If they were found, they were either killed or abandoned.
I will not go home. Peter needs me.
And so these children who are both races have come together and created their own culture, their own family, because nobody else will accept them. And that's really shown in Distant Melody. We have a song where Mrs. Darling comes out and Liza, who are the main British representatives and the Indian representative of the show, come out and they both sing the lullaby that Peter remembers, which is Peter in his head, because he could have a British mother. He doesn't know. He knows he's half and half, but that's it. He doesn't remember if she's Indian or she's British, because when he was kicked out of his house, he was so young, he doesn't remember who she was. He remembers the concept. And it's all about the struggle of not being accepted by anyone while being both at the same time. I think learning all these dances, all of the Indian dances, has been very challenging but very rewarding, because going into it I didn't know how I was going to express that Indian culture, but now that I understand that movement, because dance tells so much about a culture, and now it kind of set everything into rhythm. In Indian dance, the meaning is embedded in the moves themselves, which is awesome. That's so cool to have as a dancer, to just instantly have meaning already there before having to, because generally we have to layer it all on top and change the move slightly. This was all already laid out for me. Obviously, it'll all be fused together with some of these Western ideas because it's set to very Westernized music of the Golden Broadway age.
What tempo, Captain? Tempo. A tango! A tango!
This production is definitely very unique. I enjoy it because of its merging in cultures. I think that's very interesting. I obviously was a huge fan of Peter Pan as a kid, and I think bringing this new concept and idea to the show is very intriguing and very beautiful when you see it on stage. I think that element is one of my favorite parts of this production.
I think with all the kind of introductory help that the production is going to give people, I think and I hope that they will learn something also from this experience. They will learn of another culture, they'll learn a little bit of British colonization.
But I honestly think it takes people on a whole new journey, and they'll never look at the story again the same, because it's a once-in-a-lifetime experience.